You're listening to Greater Good Radio Hawaii. Please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. Today's guest is John Otterson. In August 1994, John co-founded the UCSD Cancer Center Luau and Longboard Invitational, an annual event that brings together the surfing community and more than 1,000 participants in a celebration of life. Our show is brought to you by Central Pacific Bank. Fiercely Loa Banking. So, John, can you tell us a little bit about the Cancer Center Luau, or UCSD Cancer Center Luau, please?
Sure. I got involved with the UCSD Cancer Center many years ago because my father had cancer. A couple friends and I were trying to figure out a way to engage the younger community. The Cancer Center had a couple of different events that, special gala events that certainly reached out to the established community, but there really wasn't anything that was reaching out to our age group at the time, which was 30 to 40-year-olds. So we thought about, there we are down in San Diego, beautiful beach community. There's no event, there's plenty of events that serve rubber chicken at hotels, but there's no event that's down at the beach that involves surfing of the scope and profile that we were thinking about. So what we did is we brought together a number of teams, 21 teams, that are sponsored by local companies that range from law firms and Silicon Valley Bank, Cooley Goddard, that were supporting the high-tech community, to high-tech companies such as Cymer Laser and others from that region to support these, to underwrite teams. And then what we did is we invited legends from the late 60s, early 70s, people like Mike Doyle, Rabbit Kakai from here on the islands, or Ricky Grigg. We brought these legends over to join each of the teams. So we created an event that just has a whole lot of aloha. We borrowed that from the islands. And we raise, today, this event raised about $250,000 a year.
And what was the first event like, and compared to now in regards to the numbers and the donations that you've been able to accumulate?
So the first event was a little better than break even. It was about a $50,000 net contribution, which we were tickled. We just had no idea how it would work. And at that time, we charged $2,000 or $2,500 for teams. And because we really didn't know how the economics were going to play out, we really had a fairly sparse budget. For example, I spent the night in my Suburban as the security guard because we had rented tens of thousands of dollars worth of plates and tents and other party gear, and we thought a couple $100 for security guard was just, we didn't know how this was going to break. Well, I woke up at about 4. It wasn't the most comfortable night of sleep I've had, and I walked down to take a look at the surf, and I'm not kidding, it was 2 inches. And I thought, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We have 125 surfers coming down. And by the way, some of the top legends in the world coming to join us for a surf contest or a surf tournament, and there's no surf. Well, about an hour or two later, it started to fill in a bit, and the tide started to change. And there's a little low pressure system about 200-300 miles north of San Diego that's fairly regular. And when it pumps in the afternoon, it will send surf down to San Diego the next day. So by the time that the surf contest started at 7 o'clock, we had about knee-high waves. And by the time we got into the final heats, we had waist-high waves. So we could actually hold a tournament.
You think some of that is just kind of serendipity or what?
Whatever, it worked. I mean, there was a lot of aloha going, so it just had to work out.
So how, in this event, for you folks being, somewhat younger, how did that change maybe your perspective on community service or, community interaction and all that?
Well, first of all, I created a venue that was much more accessible. Today, through different events, my wife and I will attend black tie events for fundraisers. But that just isn't a whole lot of fun in your 20s and 30s. So by creating this luau, we put together a fun day on the beach. It involves a surfing tournament, and we spend a lot of time trying to get people to realize that it's a tournament. It's not a highly competitive contest. This is about coming out and celebrating life, raising money and awareness for the UCSD Cancer Center. And so by getting people involved, giving them ways to volunteer for the event, it really engages younger people, and then they become involved in the planning, and then over many years, some of those people come up to run the event.
And how did it change your life in regards to knowing that you could help plan this event and then make an impact on this organization? And then how did it go on to helping you get involved in so many more of these other organizations that you're involved in?
Well, I come from a family that has been very focused on giving back to the community. So I was really, my behaviors there were almost following a pattern that I had seen before through my mother and my father. Having achieved the first event to be a tremendous success, where we had famous legends come to our event in San Diego, some traveling as far as Hawaii or Northern California, Montana, and even Baja California. That was extremely rewarding to see the tremendously good vibe, people having a great time during the tournament and then afterward at the Luau, where we had great Luau food and music, Polynesian music. The sense of accomplishment there was tremendous, and that spurred all of us on, all of the volunteers who put that together, to continue. What's one of the interesting elements is whatever you're doing in terms of work or your charity, volunteer, giving back to the community, you need to do something that you care about, that you have to have passion about. And the group that started the Luau, we love surfing. And then to help the Cancer Center with its mission. And by the way, by surfing out in the sun and the amount of exposure that we all get out in the water, we're all at risk for cancer. So to raise the awareness and how to prevent, that's extremely helpful. The way kind of going on, what changed, or what elements did we bring into this event that have transferred or gone on to other work areas? The way we designed this event, it's companies that a number of us were already working with, so it was bringing friends together. So it really works because there was a community aspect to the people involved, and here we were just bringing a new element, the surfing tournament, and giving back. It was no longer just a purely commercial engagement. We do work as a bank for that startup company, but here we're having fun and giving back to the community.
Thanks for joining us today on Greater Good Radio. For more information or a transcript of today's show, please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. This is your host, Evan Leong and Carrie Leong, saying please join us next time for another episode of Greater Good Radio Hawaii.